Hey everyone, hope your Memorial Day was a great one. Mine was tasty, to say the least, but it was also frustrating. And you would say, what do I mean? Well, what I mean is, first of all, I'm going to cut this fan off a little bit so you can hear me better because it feels great, but it's a little noisy. Hold on a second. Uh, it's a warm day here in Atlanta, Georgia. And hello, everybody. And I'll wait for everybody to come on in. Hey, Golden State. Thank you for the advice, by the way. Thank you very, very much. And I hope your Memorial Day was a great one. And a tasty one. And a garlicky one. Oh, I know you don't mind the fan, but I do because sometimes the fan overtakes my thoughts. And I'm kind of kidding here, okay? Barry, how are you? How are you guys doing? I know I've got a provocative topic for you because I believe it. Do you guys hear about this? I mean, this is... Did you read about it? Hey, Dorian, how are you? I got your message. Oh, actually, Dual Warriors, I did not get your message. I apologize. On Memorial Day, it's Memorial Day, okay? And when I wasn't catching up with, things I was doing with my mom or taking a nap, then I was out, went to the gym, and that sort of thing. Please hit the like button. So I did not get your message. I apologize. But and I should have checked for your message, but it was that kind of day. So Ken Ha says, hey, Ken, welcome. Ken Ha says he heard on the radio. And he heard on the radio. I saw it pop up on Twitter pretty much as it happened. And this morning, the live stream is good. Let's go to the watch page right now. And first I thought, oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. Really? He didn't really get into trouble like that, did he? And I didn't get that. I didn't see that. So hey, just as a word to moderators and folks, I'm not going to deal with any off-topic, stuff that rather than the topic. I want to deal with the topic right now, and I apologize, but sometimes there's a tendency for some of you to use this medium to address me about something that is not on the topic immediately that could be done, off screen or something, right? So let's just focus on the topic, okay? That's okay, no problem. So I get what you're saying, no problem. Because this is a very important topic to me at least. But you know what? Considering some of you out there are, I believe Go Warriors you're 17, right? And I believe we have someone else who's 21. We have a lot of young people in this group, and I'm really proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And no apology accepted, and I want people to, particularly people who are in their college and high school years who are getting out and going out, you're going to be going loud and late at some point in time. It's very important for you, first of all, to be respectful of law enforcement, which Tiger was, but also protect yourself and make sure that you have somebody with you as often as possible, other eyes. Or if you can't have other eyes, have a camera in your car. Because there are people in law enforcement today who, not all of them, but some, the vast majority are great, but there's some bad apples out there. And in the case of Florida, in the case of Florida, there are those officials who, I have to say it's been reported, are part of white supremacist groups. I say all that to say this. First of all, I met a gentleman, this was years ago, and Tiger Woods is making a comeback, but I'll get to that in a second. I met a gentleman at during the 2010 Oscars. And technically it was after. And it was at a famous place called, I love to this day, called the Polo Lounge. Okay, the Polo Lounge, and the Polo Lounge is in Beverly Hills, California. It's a famous place that's known for hosting such luminaries as Anna Nicole Smith and the guys from Spin City, and I can go on and on and on, right? A great place. And so, a fantastic place. I met Michael Lohan there, Lindsay Lohan's father. In fact, it was, just a momentary aside, my friend Marla was talking with this gentleman. I had no idea. I went to the bathroom, I came back, and I had no idea who he was. We were just fresh from covering the Night of 100 Stars Oscar party, right? And I said, so what are you doing? The man said, well, I'm an investment banker. And, I'm interested in investment banking for the reasons regarding sports and everything else. So I said to this, hey, Jack Bauer. Hey, haven't seen you in a while, Jack. Welcome. The water's fine. I said to this gentleman, hey, Jack Bauer, we're talking about Tiger Woods, and I believe he was set up. But bear with me, okay? I said to this gentleman, hey, so what area of investment banking are you in? And I said, are you involved in sports? Are you involved in, I kind of give a rundown. The guy became visibly annoyed and said, he shifted gears like this. And he goes, my daughter is one of the top 6 actresses in Hollywood. Just like that. And I said, Lindsay Lohan? and I said, wait a minute, you're Michael Lohan. That's how I met him, right? At that same gathering of people, just casually talking, there was a man who was about maybe 70-something, 72, I would say, just by our conversation, what he had said to me. And he explained that he was lit. The guy was drunk. And they were encouraging him to get a ride home, and he lived in Beverly Hills, not far from the Beverly Hills Hotel. He said, no, I'm fine. And I said, aren't you worried about getting stopped, for driving while intoxicated? He goes, here? In Beverly Hills? Nah, the police, they know everybody. They'll make sure I get home. Okay? That is the way Tiger Woods should have been treated in Jupiter, Florida. And that's why I'm so exercised about this. Because we're not talking about the middle of Manhattan where Tiger Woods looks like anybody, right? If you live in Jupiter, Florida, as Tiger Woods does, and you have a restaurant called The Woods, as Tiger Woods does, and that restaurant is famous and popular and in Jupiter, Florida, everybody knows you, okay? Everyone knows you, all right? And Dorian said correctly about cameras, but everyone knows you. And so I find it very odd that the Jupiter police, knowing who he was, and they did know, didn't just simply offer to give him a ride home, okay? I mean, that really didn't, that really did not resonate with me, okay? So, are you all listening to what I'm saying here? Okay? So I want to talk about this. I mean, if this isn't your cup of tea, okay, fine. You can't, but I want to talk about this with somebody. I don't care. Because this is really bothering me. It's bothering me that so-called journalists are not looking deeper into this, and they're rushing to judgment that, oh, he's washed up and he did this and he did that. We all know Tiger Woods was on back painkillers, all right? Yeah, go Warriors. He was set up. We all know that. We all know he was on painkillers. Now, I'll tell you what I think really happened. I think his restaurant closes at 11. He owns the restaurant. He can hang out with whoever he wants to, yada, yada, whatever, okay? All right? Now, and Jack, yeah, I agree with Jack. Jack says they had it out for him. I believe they had it out for him. Because, and yeah, he said and they could sit there and watch him leave. This place is open every night, pretty much, right? And probably closed on Mondays like some restaurants. And they could sit out there and watch him. Now, if they were good people, all right? But here's the thing, Golden State. He said, he said alcohol was not involved, okay? And that blood test, as I understand it, hasn't been done. TMZ reported that, but Tiger said alcohol had nothing to do with it. He put out a statement. So now we quite literally have a he said, she said, and Tiger Woods' attorneys want to know if the cop had a body cam. If the cop didn't have a body cam, and Tiger Woods is saying the opposite, somebody's lying. Okay? Somebody's lying. And my point is that, yeah, but the whole point is because a person has a history or prior, that doesn't make any difference. Again, I go back to this. If you are law enforcement, you like somebody, and you don't want to see them as a mugshot all over the place, you'll do what the Beverly Hills police do. They'll make sure that you get home. Now, I know there are people who say, well, nobody should be treated better than somebody else. I'll tell you, I disagree with that. And I'll tell you why. There is in this society, I call it the elevation of the slacker mentality. That is, you do not make someone who is a celebrity who's done something special feel special. No, celebrities are the closest thing America has to royalty. The symbol of making it. And I'm sick and tired personally of people who send out this message, oh, well, it's okay. You know, it's okay to not achieve something in life. No, everybody achieves something in life. You might be a husband to a successful son or daughter. You might be a mother to a successful daughter or son. That's a success. We have to change the way we think about success, but appropriately reward people who achieve it. And that includes public officials when they address people in public. That's where I grew up. Okay, I grew up when a good law enforcement official would do that. Why? Because this happened to me. When I worked for the mayor of Oakland, it happened to me. I think there were a number of times where it happened to me because I made some mistakes, and I've talked about my DUI I got where I was in a crash. This was May 19th, 1999. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. You know, I thought I had an agreement with Willie Brown, the mayor of San Francisco, to help us in the Super Bowl, right? And I was jazzed. I was like, because I really worked hard for that. And I went, bar hopping, and I think, and I hear what you're saying, Golden State Raider, but hear me out for a second. I hear what you're saying. I hear you loud and clear, okay? I hear you loud and clear, all right? But, right, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. But here's my point, okay? What happened was that I got in my car at 1:30 from Merchants in Oakland, and I went home after hopping, around. And I wasn't aware of how much I had. And I woke up. I fell asleep at the wheel of the car. I was exhausted. When I woke up, I was headed the wrong way up the freeway ramp, okay? And I crashed my car to avoid another car. I am lucky to this day to be alive. Now, I worked on the Super Bowl issue. And I thought, oh boy, I really screwed up, right? So I told the police officer who I was, and he says, okay, well, they booked me and all that, barely, and then took me to North County Jail, which conveniently was right across the street in those days. And I was, after about 45 minutes, one of the people came over and they said, don't I know you from somewhere with the wardens or whatever they call them, police officer? And I said, yeah. I said, he said, were you on Channel 7? I said, I was me today. He goes, yeah. I said, I'm the guy trying to bring the Super Bowl here. And he goes, yeah, you're Mr. Super Bowl. He goes, don't worry. We're going to get you out of here. And they released me they released me like that. That was it, okay? I went to Robert Bob, the Oakland City manager, and I offered my resignation. He did not take it. I got a second chance. I knew I made a mistake, but I was also being rewarded for the civic good that I was doing in my role, all right? And the fact that I was on TV doing this, doing that, giving positive news to the people of Oakland about sports. We haven't had a lot of it in Oakland's history, all right? If you're out there if you're Barry Lee and you're doing something that's a public good, you should be rewarded for it. If Barry Lee makes a mistake like that, help him out, all right? That should be true for anybody in society, and that's why I'm so exercised about this. According to TMZ, the police officer said that Tiger Woods was, quote, arrogant. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. What do you mean by arrogant? I mean, and so But see, Miguel says you're disappointed. I'm not disappointed in him. All right? I look at it from an entirely different perspective. You're jumping to a conclusion that he is across the board guilty of something. And I'm saying, no. No. No, he's not, okay? No. Hold on a second. And I know for those of you who have jumped in, I remind you of this. Tiger Woods was arrested near his own restaurant, The Woods, by Jupiter police in a small town where everybody knows everybody. How do we know that they haven't been stalking him before, okay? Well, he might be rich enough, but it doesn't make the situation right. It's like, okay, it's rich. It's okay that the police treat him inappropriately. No, it's not. It is not, okay? The question is, were they tracking him before and he had a problem where, what did he do? I think it really happened. I think maybe he had a few glasses of wine, not enough to be intoxicated, but it mixed with the medication. He mixed the medication with alcohol and wow, that's what I believe happened, okay? Now, so when he says it wasn't alcohol, and I'll get to your comments, all right? And Barry says, if he was just behind the wheel but never drove away, then yes, the police should have just got him home safely. Now, if he was driving the car, then now he's putting people's lives in danger. I agree, Barry Lee, but here's my point. They could still have offered to take him home, all right? They could have offered to take him home even under those circumstances. They could have done that. And not only that, he couldn't have been so drunk that he wasn't aware. Obviously, if the police report is to be believed, he was aware enough to talk to them, aware enough, they didn't say slurred his speech, aware enough to basically decline showing his driver's license. But they know who the man is. They know he's Tiger Woods, okay? And Barry Lee says he has so Joe Thomas for drinking and driving, and I agree. But look, I had the same attitude as you did before I did it. We all like to think we're holier than thou, that we're never going to be that person. I've got news for you. In some way, shape, or form, every single last one of you will be that person at some point in your life. In some kind of way, it will happen to you. We are all, set up that way because of this system. And I'll tell you why. Because it's a system where we don't help each other. We like to do this. You're bad. You. I mean, come on. Really? That's what I'm railing against here. Small towns, generally the people like Beverly Hills look the same. They're all white. You don't get that. Jupiter, Florida, you got a rich black guy. So you get what you get. I'm sorry. And so, okay, so I'll go ahead. And so anyway, I'll go to your comments. And so Jack Bauer says, so they're saying he was on drugs, not painkillers? Oh, Jack Bauer, Tiger Woods is saying he was on painkillers, not alcohol. He said alcohol had nothing to do with it. But I remind you, the Palm Beach police have not officially released a report. Okay, just remind you of that. TMZ says their law enforcement sources claim. But note that even TMZ did not mention a police report, because if they did, knowing TMZ as you and I both do, Harvey Lever would have had that posted. Not there. Okay? Not there. So, and Golden State Raider says it has to be far across the board, Zinni. That's how people get killed with DUI. I understand what you're saying. But they could have helped. They should have given the man a ride home and given him a very stern warning and found out what happened. They didn't do that. Instead, if TMZ is to really believe, the cop said he was arrogant. He's Tiger Woods. What do you mean? What did he say? Well, I'm Tiger Woods. I mean, come on. That's bad. My issue is that police officers should not be allowed to use their own shortcomings psychologically as a sub-reason for taking action against a person who needs help like Tiger Woods. That is what I rail against. Okay? Sorry. I just do. And Miguel, I want to repeat what Gail had to say, because even though I disagree with it, I think it's pressing, and I think it matches what Golden State Raiders' concern is. And I want to say 1,000%. I hear what you all are saying, okay? I hear what you all are saying. I really do. Miguel Rose says, Zenny, I'm very disappointed in Tiger Woods. As a grown man and as a famous sports celebrity, Tiger Woods should have known better because everything he does is going to be in the spotlight. Right, but my point is, Miguel, when you're around friends, okay, they help you. Friends don't let, they say friends don't let friends drive drunk, but friends don't let friends get arrested either. I would think that a person who's as prominent a citizen as Tiger Woods is in Jupiter would have friends in the police department. Someone doesn't like the man. We're all human here. You're talking about rules and regulations. Hey, you know what? I mean, we all used to say, and Jack Bauer might really have eyes on Tiger. And Johnny says, I love this. Thank you, Johnny. I really appreciate that. And Steve Collins says, a ride home? You have to be kidding us. No, Steve, I'm not. I got that ride home. That's happened to me. When I worked for the mayor, I got that ride home. Okay? Hey, man, I need some help. I've had a little too much. Can you give me a ride home? Yeah, I'll give you a ride home. All right? That was way back like 1997, 90, probably before some of you were born. Okay? I learned my lesson the hard way, and that's why, but I talk the way that I do. Because I thank God for those people who were in law enforcement, who respected me and treated me not, with a level of respect that was commensurate with what I did for the city. And yeah, I deserved it. Okay? Absolutely. Absolutely. They knew who I was. I knew them. We see each other. That's my point. It's called relationships. All right? And so Steve Collins says that's what taxis are for. And Johnny Yu says white police officers don't like Tiger prefers white women. That's what my mom was saying. You see Steve Collins? This is, for us, it's like a variation of driving while black, but you're driving while black while maybe, you're driving while black and rich. Okay, and it's like, well, let's wait for him. And we know Tiger is, out there, and maybe he's got some painkillers, and maybe he'll drive erratically. The minute he does anything wrong, we're going to get him. Just saying, all right? And as you can see, I've lost some of you. Fine. But not everything is hunky-dory in this world, right? And so think about how you feel about Gary and Conley. You were rushing to defend him. Okay? Why? Because he's a Raider? That's the only reason? Guess what? That's not a bad reason. And now, do you get what I'm saying? Now you get what I'm saying? Steve, there's no such thing as a card with race. Okay? For those of us who've been discriminated, and don't ever use the term race card. Here's why I say, and Steve, I want to say something. It's not like we're not talking. I'm not saying don't use it on my channel. I'm going to do anything like that. No. Please do not make the mistake of thinking I'm saying that. I'm not. I want you to hear me. Okay? The race card was invented during the Reagan administration to shut down conversations about race. And it was invented by those who were white. Okay? Hey, how you doing? John Marks, how you doing? We're having a conversation here that I think is needed to be done in Seminole and all that stuff. And don't get mad at me, but Steve Collins is raising some, I think, points that need to be discussed. And John, we're talking about Tiger Woods, and my contention is that Tiger Woods was set up. Okay? Now, and Miguel says Steve Collins has absolutely nothing to do with race. And I disagree, Miguel. You don't know that. It does because the fact that the cop was obviously white and Tiger Woods black. But hold on a second. I don't know if the cop was even that. Okay? I'll correct myself. The cop could have been black and still hated Tiger Woods because he thought Tiger was an arrogant black guy. All right? But my point is that race, even when it's black on black, still applies. Okay, now I want to get to your comments. Now, Rick Rice says, and Miguel, I love you guys' comments because I hear what you all are saying loud and clear. Particularly you, Steve Collins. I hear you. Rick Rice says in Tiger's statement, he said he wanted to thank the police and he wanted that. Yeah, that's why I don't get it. Well, no. But Tiger is a gentleman. Tiger Woods is a gentleman. Look, you might criticize him for this or that, but you can never criticize him for not being classy about whatever mistake he made. All right, that's Tiger. That's how he is. That's, we have to applaud that. All right. Rick Rice says either way, they're making a huge deal out of it. It's not like he's O.J. Simpson or Bill Cosby or something. He just got a DUI. Who hasn't driven drunk before? He just got caught. And see, my point, Rick Rice, in this is that the police could have simply driven him home, given him like a little warning thing, and said, hey, you know what? You're part of this community. We love your restaurant. We love what you do for us. Please don't do this again, because next time, man, we got to arrest you, okay? What's going on? They could have left it at that level. Instead, the cop says, according to TMZ, he's arrogant? Now, come on. John Mark says, how about Mark Davis and the Raiders misleading Oakland? I'll later, okay? I want to talk. Hey, John, I want to talk about this, okay? This has really got me burned. I mean, up the wazoo burn. I'm just like, ugh, okay? I'm tired of it. The race card is not a card to play. It shuts down conversation. No, you want to talk about race. You want to have people around who don't look like you, who are your friends. Not only people that you converse from a distance, you have over to your house. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, I don't care what you are. Have a diverse group, because then you understand how people treat them through their eyes. I'll give you an example of what I'm saying, Steve, if you're still there. And I hope you haven't dropped out and got mad. Maybe you have. But my point is this. I'm going to assume that you're still listening, because some people have dropped out. Fine, I don't care. Here's the point, okay? And it's this, that, and so Golden State says that the cop needs to put food on his family's table. Yeah, he can do that, all right? But here's my point. And John, he was charged with DUI, and but they haven't released the police report. Mr. says, yeah, what's the hell with Tiger? See, that's my point, all right? Well, my point is that Steve Collins, who since left the building because, oh, he's here. Okay, cool. All right, sorry about that. My point is this, all right, that, and I'll explain by way of example. In this is the 19s. In 1985, when I was at Texas Arlington, and 85 was my, actually 87, excuse me. 85 was my last year there, and I went to Cal that year, and I graduated in 87. In 85, we were studying for the finals, and we went to Denny's late at night. This is Arlington, Texas. And as we were going in, all of my friends are staying with white guys, engineering guys, and friends. I mean, we had this great group. One of them made this kind of doll that was carved out in wood, and the doll was in the silo that electronically, he pushed the button. It was about this big, and it would pop up, and it would like point at all the frat and sorority people like this. You, like that. It was hilarious, and it would point in the circle, right? Okay, we went to Denny's that night. This is in Arlington, Texas, and Grand Prairie, excuse me. And what happens is that these guys that went by us, nondescript white guys, said, oh, now they're letting the N-word in here. The guys that I was with, I had to turn around and stop them, physically stop them from going after these guys to fight them, okay? Because they saw what I had to deal with. And that's why I'm saying it's very important for you to have a diverse group of friends that you hang out with. Because then you can see how others react to them and what they have to go through. You can defend them and then see life through their eyes. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's very important. Those guys are my friends. All right? Now, we'll get to your comments. Miguel Rose says, that's not what I'm saying, Zenny. I missed something. Sorry about Go Warriors. Go Warriors said, good, John. Tired a little bit, but this is fun tonight. I'm not staying on, going to bed. Still stream is done. Florida police should have helped Tiger like Beverly Hills. That's all I'm saying, all right? That's all I'm saying. And thanks for listening, Steve Collins. And Miguel Rose says, that's not what I'm saying, Zenny. Zenny, I agree with you that people need to stop playing the race card. That's all what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, Miguel, is that race is not a card to play. We have different experiences based on what we go through. When you say playing the race card, you shut down conversation. Where did you learn that term? You weren't born out of the womb. No one plugged that into your head. Why is it so important for you to use that term? Okay? I love talking about issues like that because we understand each other, all right? But my point, John, is that race is not a card. It's a true conversation. It's not a card. It's not something that you play like, oh, I'm going to trump you. No. Not at all. Okay? Not at all. Not at all. Kurt Flirt has... Kurt! Haven't seen Kurt in a long time. Kurt, welcome. Kurt says, Tiger has been in a downward spiral for almost like 10 years now. He hasn't been the same since getting exposed for the hookers he was messing with. It would be no surprise to see this happen again. Kurt, I agree with you. 1,000%. I really do agree with you. I think something of that frat boy nature of him that, was taken away from him. It was almost like he was being punished in his mind, I think subconsciously, for, what white guys had been doing on the tour. That's what's said, okay? And suddenly maybe he's like, oh my God, why did this happen to me? We've all been through that. So when you say talking about the race card, I say, let's talk about race. It matters. Learn what a person experiences. It might be painful for you to hear, but go through the pain. You'll understand society better, okay? My point is that Golden State Warriors, how far is football away? It's only, closer than you think, but not the way you think, because this also has to do with the NFL. Now, Kurt Flirt said, Tiger has always had a cocky attitude and always felt entitled to that arrest isn't a shot. So here's my point. So you're saying that the cop is basically saying, this is what I'm getting at, and that's why I'm pissed off. That the cop should have treated Tiger that way because he was an uppity black guy? No. And that's why I say race matters. Because now we're getting to the heart of things. No. No. Kurt Flirt too said that. Remember, that's what you said, Kurt. That's what you wrote. All right? And thank you. Stay on topic. Yes. And Kurt says, Tiger is always... Okay, now I got to that one. And, hey, Golden State, just work with me here, all right? Rick Rice. Yeah, I agree. The cops should have treated him a lot better. Sometimes celebrities get treated worse because the cops want to make it a point to show they're not getting special treatment. And that's what I rail against. Give them special treatment, all right? Give it to them. Jack Bauer says, that's have happened if that was Ernie Els. Exactly. I'll bet you someone would have treated Ernie Els quite differently. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't tell me there's this card of race. It's not. Pay attention to race. Change in your mind where you don't have to. Do it. You'll be a better person. You'll understand American society better. Do not fear to talk about race. Ever. Even to the point, all right? That's my point, all right? Now, let's see here. Don't forget, and Steve Collins, great point. Don't forget his dad's passing was hard on him. Yes. And John Mark says Tiger needs help. We all agree with that. That's all I'm saying, John. The police know he needs help. They should have helped him. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And so Barry Lee says losing his wife probably had a lot to do with affecting his baby. And don't forget Lindsey Vonn. I thought they were a fantastic couple. And then, he blew it with her. Oh, boy, he blew it with Lindsey Vonn. The same woman who made fun of him in 2010 when she tweeted about him, you go get that sex. I thought, and I actually tweeted back to her, I said, don't you think that's a nasty thing to say? So then later she winds up dating the guy because he sends his plane to take her, I think to Russia or something for a doctor, whatever. Cha-ching! Okay? Boy, oh boy. All right. Kurt Flirt said they could have left Justin Bieber alone and let him get away with the cocaine speeding charges, but they didn't. But my point is, Kurt, that's different, all right? And you say, why do I draw a line? Yeah, I do draw a line. It's a substance abuse, okay? But here's my point. Even then, they could have look, I'm going to correct myself. Even in that case, I don't know the particulars of the Bieber issue, they should have said, if it was his first offense, hey, you know what? Don't do this again. We got our eye on you, pal. This is why. I don't know the circumstances there. What I'm talking about here is more than just the celebrity. It's the fact that he was in his own town, near his restaurant, small town at home where everybody knows each other. So it's more than just the celebrity aspect. It's, hey, you know me, I know you. Help me out, dude. Does anybody see what I'm getting at here? Okay. And well, I don't think the Sir Justin Bieber's thing. Okay, now Miguel Rose says that's what I'm saying, Zinni. I agree with you that the race card is most definitely not a card that should ever be played. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's one of these things where we have to talk. And I hear what you're saying. I'm not sure that you hear what I'm saying, but maybe you do. I'm gonna err on the side of hope and say, okay, I think you might hear what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with mentioning that, hey, this was a race issue. It looks like it. And here's why. Because look, that's how black folks think. We're so used to problems like this that we're gonna say, hey, look, hey, this happened to me, and this design in my life looks similar to that design. And you can't shut down our experiences. If you don't want us to have those experiences, guess what? Make sure societies improve so they don't happen. That's the best way to stop that. Now, 831 Scott, how you doing? Chimes in and says, we're all human beings, and despite color, religion, or cultural differences, everyone should be treated equally. Exactly. But if you're a celebrity, I believe you should get special treatment for being a celebrity in a small town where everybody knows you. Okay? In a small town where everybody knows you. That's my caveat. They knew Tiger Woods. I've never been to Jupiter. You guys, look at the map, okay? And so Go Warrior says, that's why I won't drink when I'm old enough, because I don't want to get drunk in bad situations. But my point is that in his instance, he says alcohol had nothing to do with it. That's Tiger's statement. And we have to go with that until there's concrete evidence that, hey, Tiger's not telling the truth. But he wrote that. He put that in black and white. Okay? Now, Rick Rice says, Tiger says it was from mixed medication, not booze. Did they get a confirmed blood alcohol level? Nope, they haven't. There's been no police report that's really been released. And John Mark says drugs are bad too. Painkillers. Hey, Rush Limbaugh got popped from painkillers. Remember that? Rush lives in Jupiter, Florida, if I'm not mistaken, Rush Limbaugh. I'm a big admirer of Rush Limbaugh from a business standpoint. Opinion, don't agree with him, but business-wise, yeah. I'm a big Rush fan. My point is, Kurt Flores said, Zinni, they could have let him go, but we don't know the exact truth. And that's my point, Kurt. You're absolutely right. We don't know. That's why I'm saying this is what it looks like to me. Others are rushing to just blame Tiger. Like, oh, he was drinking. Oh, I say, no, hold on. Why didn't they just take the man home? Why do we need to know about this? Okay? They arrested him at 3 a.m. He didn't get to jail until 7, and they got out at 10. Okay? Why didn't they just take him home? And John Mark says, I hate the taste of alcohol. I was only drunk once. Yeah. And so Rick Rice says, Dorian says, Uber Warrior on and you're good. Yeah. John Mark says, alcohol is a bad mimic, eh? And Go Warrior said, that's why I won't get drunk. 831 Scott mentioned that. John Mark mentioned the Justin Bieber part. Okay. Now, and Steve Collins says, I'm amazed that the video hasn't surfaced. I agree. And Golden Surveyor says, don't drink if you can't taste the alcohol, if you can't take the alcoholic beverage. Exactly. But here's the point. We're rushing to the idea that he did. He says he didn't. All right? Barry Lee said, Rick Rice has the point that I'm trying to make. If everybody, he says, treated each other like they were family, we wouldn't have these problems. That's all I'm saying. The police should treat really everybody like family in a small town. You know who Tiger Woods is. He's part of your local family. He's a prominent citizen. Treat him as such. I don't like giving a badge to somebody who feels like they have to use the badge as a weapon to check out their own shortcomings on you, or their own perceived shortcomings as they look at life. That's bad. As I think it was Johnny said, the police may not like Tiger because he likes white women. My mom said the same thing. Okay? A number of black folks are saying that. I've said it over and over again. Whoever you date, is your business. Nobody else should treat you like that. And for a law enforcement official to do that under the color of the badge, rip his or her badge off. Forget it. That's bad. Absolutely. And John Marks says, I need to arrest the officer. Yeah. And Kurt says, you arrest Tiger, it's like winning $25,000 in a lottery. Sad, but it's true. But in a small town where you live, that means he's got no friends in his own town. Think about that. Jupiter, Florida. All right? Miguel Rose says, think before you drink. Or what about when you take painkillers, okay? But here's Golden State Raider again. Tiger Woods says he was not drinking. He said alcohol had nothing to do with it. We keep coming back to that because of the DUI. Driving while intoxicated on painkillers. Okay? A reaction. All right? Now, Golden State says sounds like Aaron Hernandez. Dorian says more of the racist encounter I've had with police. Here's something has been from black cops and Hispanic cops. I'm Hispanic in a crazy world. But Dorian is right. I mean, there are people, I've seen law enforcement officials at the airport here in Atlanta, black, and boy, they will say all kinds of things. They'll just yell at you. There was one guy that was yelling at my mother about parking. I looked at him and I said, sir, my mother is trying. He says, I don't care. So instead of confronting him directly, I got his superior. His superior made him stop. There's some people, when you give them a badge in this day and age, it's like, they act like, oh my God, I've got a badge. And, oh, this is so exciting. Oh, and I'm going to use it. And I'm going to take it on you, and you. That person, and there are a lot of those people around, should not be police officers. Police officers are supposed to be superhuman people, okay? And so, yeah, that's true. Remember, Zane, when you're a big-time celeb, all type of sympathy goes out the door. But Kurt, that's not true in Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills police don't treat their celebs like that. I'm just letting you know, okay? And then Golden State Wave says, I see it on painkillers. Don't operate heavy machines and driving. Thank you, Golden State. Golden State speaks, quite intellectually here. There you go. Rick Rice says, there's always more to the story. Exactly. 831 Scott says, I almost got a DUI from a lack of sleep. I worked a double shift. I was driving home at about 4 a.m. and was pulled over. I was tired. They gave me every test and finally let me go. Yeah. John Mark says, I used to work in Foster Farms as a sanitation worker. I went to the hospital for a dehydration and they all thought I had alcohol blood content. See? Barry Lee says, yeah, there are cops who think they're gods when it gets their badge. Yeah. And Golden State has the president said, thanks. Miguel Rose says, people who need to think before they use and do drugs. And Tiger Woods admits he made a mistake. The nature of that mistake was painkillers. He admits that. Kurt says, okay, I wasn't aware that Beverly Hills cops were different. Yeah, Beverly Hills cops are massively different. Beverly Hills is a great small town. I remember I got lost, and I was always like, because you hear about this in the media, which is that's just the problem with the media, focusing on race too much. And yeah, I did say that, and I'm doing it right now. Yeah, I'm aware of that. But when I'm talking about focusing to race too much, it's always the common, well, okay, the black guy did this bad thing, right? It's the image that is thrust in our face thousands of times a day. My point is, that's in the back of your mind when you're driving and you're African American, you're male. And that was in the back of my mind in Beverly Hills. And so here I am, and I realized, I'm lost. And there was a police officer behind me. It was dark. This was during the Oscars. So you know what I did? I put my blinkers on because I needed help. And I waved him. And I said, hey, you know what? I need help. I'm lost. My GPS doesn't work. How can I get to the Beverly Hills Hotel? And he told me how to get around and zigzag. I said, thank you so much. That's how I handled it. I believe, and this is why I react the way that I do about Tiger, because I believe that when you're in trouble, the first call you make is to a police officer. Not the last, the first. And I believe the police should do the job of helping you as a citizen. All right? I believe in that. Because I hold that the dramatically vast majority of law enforcement officials out there are truly good people who want to do the superhuman right thing. So I have no problem calling for help, flagging down and waving. That's me. All right. So now, yeah, Harry, it was a setup. I believe that. Miguel Rose says at least Jason Voorhees doesn't discriminate. For those of you who don't know who Jason Voorhees is the central character in the Friday the 13th movies. I love it. That was... Hey, Miguel, hold on a second. Miguel, that's a t-shirt. That is a t-shirt. At least Jason Voorhees doesn't discriminate. I love it. Oh, boy. And Gold Warrior says police need to protect and serve. And Kurt Flirt says, I was just looking up the little thing ESPN did on him. They shredded the heck out of him just now. Yeah. I mean, they don't even know, right? I mean, give the guy a break. The cops aren't all bad people, just some they take it too far. Right. Now, what does this all have to do with everything? With the NFL, excuse me? Everything. Because my issue with how the league handles situations with players is they used to have this, but don't. A special hotline or kind of app or directive that any player out there, like the current Dallas Cowboys player that got popped for DUI, should not be driving with any intoxicant or painkiller. But they should have a limousine, a special transportation service for them. It protects them. It protects the league, right? The league has enough money to do that. I am extremely bothered that the league doesn't do that. Here's an example why. Okay? Henry Flores says, Zinni, didn't Pac-Man Jones claim racism until the video came out? What does that have to do with anything, Henry? That kind of reasoning doesn't apply. I mean, that's not even reasoning. That's got nothing to do with it. Do not fear to talk about race on a case-by-case basis. Okay? Do not. Do not. That's a really bad thing. It is a very bad thing. Now, Gold Warrior says, that's how the NFL ties into this DUI arrest. Ding! That's right. Absolutely. This is sports. And Joseph Jones says he does discriminate against the black people are always the first to die. Jason Voorhees talking about, actually, that's not true, Joseph Jones. Jason Voorhees, you ever see Friday the 13th, Part 5? There's a black guy in there who was not the first to die, and for like a smidgen of time was beating the crap out of Jason Voorhees until he got his head cut off. Anyway, okay, now, and so Warrior says, Harry Dunn says, yeah, Tiger was solely had a sex addiction, laugh out loud, so I think most men would be ill, but then, okay. John Mark says, the league has money but won't help Oakland. Right. Yeah, go figure. 831 Scott. I remember when John Gruden got a DUI, and I was thinking of that when he was head coach of the Raiders. Right. I remember it too. And it kind of came and went. You know, I was like, oh, what? What happened? Oh, gone. Okay. He lived in Pleasanton at the time, all right? And Kurt Flirt says, laugh out loud, Friday the 13th, Part 5. Joseph Jones says, I've seen them all, Zinni, at least twice. I've seen them all at least 5 times. I got your beat there. Donis, how you doing? Hey, Donis, how you doing? How are you? Now, okay, that is what this has to do with the NFL and with the NBA and sports, because less so with PGA by far, obviously, but the NFL and the NBA, mostly black players, a lot of stories about how black players are treated, okay? A lot of bad stuff out there in terms of racial profiling. So that's why I say the league should have special rules prohibiting what players do in this case, but giving them an aid. Because the league knows that you still have people in the society who are screwed up with respect to someone black and male with money. All right, period. I mean, I don't care what color you are or sex. You have money, you have the right to have the money. Fine. You want to be showy, be showy. You want to be, silent, be silent. Whatever. I don't care. Be yourself. It's called America. We're American citizens. And that's why I like Rush Limbaugh. But not in the way that you think. Golden State Raider says, Zinni, I like how you make your coffee. Yeah, thank you. Me too. Don, it's great to see you. John Mark says, Jason versus Freddy, one of my favorite movies. And love that one, John Mark. Hey, did anybody see Alien movie? Now, Harry Dunn says, well, I agree with you, Zinni, that racism should be looked at by case, not people who say blacks are criminals or cops are racist. Harry, you and I speak the same language, absolutely. And Gold Warrior says, at least you're doing okay, at least you're here. Absolutely, to talking about Donis. Donis, I agree. At least you're doing okay. And I apologize for not getting back to folks today, but it was Memorial Day. I have to note, special note, my father and stepfather served in the war. Okay? John Marks, in Jason versus Freddy, Jason Voorhees won. He sure did. And John Marks says, yep, Miguel. Wait a minute, John, who are you rooting for? I'm curious, who are you rooting for? Now, which Raider player would qualify as Jason Voorhees? I mean, through Raiders history. I just want to, which one? Tell me which one qualifies as Jason Voorhees and which one qualifies as Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, I did ask that question. That's one of those questions that just comes out of your whatever. But I asked the question, okay? Now, Miguel's going to say, John Mark said, I'm rooting for Freddie Bolitnikoff. Neil Garrose is going to see Alien Covenant this weekend. And okay, I'll tell you who I think I think the award, the Jason Voorhees Award for the Raiders goes to Big Ben Davidson. Remember him? Handlebar mustache and everything. Big Ben Davidson gets the award for me. Kurt Flirt said, I actually want to see Alien Covenant this weekend too. Wow. I'd love to talk with you guys about that, see what you think. That'll be something. Miguel Rose says, Bill Romanowski is Jason Voorhees and Freddy is Howie Long. I like it. Joseph Jones says, I just saw Pirates of the Caribbean today. Not really impressed. That thing is tanking at the box office. Hey, so is Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant's a brutal movie that pissed me off. Oh, it pissed me off. Rest in peace, Big Ben. Yep, rest in peace, Big Ben. Thank you, Steve. Yes. John Mark says, I'm going to see Wonder Woman on Thursday. Yes, Wonder Woman. Yes. Me too. I'm looking forward to that. Wonder Woman's going to be a lot of fun. Donna says, why? I mean, why are we going to see Wonder Woman, or why what, Donis? Oh, hey, moderators, Baywatch tanked. And Barry Lee says, so you guys agree with people who say that people are losing the true meaning of Memorial Day and are looking more at how to get out to work day? I agree with that, yeah. Well, hold on a second, Barry Lee. Yes and no. Because here in Georgia, Memorial Day is celebrated and felt. I don't know if that's true where you are, but I know it's certainly true here in Texas. Georgia. And so, Go Warrior says, I'm a huge Cars fan, excited about Cars 3. Yeah, you are. I saw the trailer from that the other day. And Henry Forrest says, Otis Sistrunk. We knew Otis Sistrunk. Otis Sistrunk is a friend to this day. Joseph Jones says, I have no intention of watching Baywatch. Golden State Raiders says, Zinni, keep up the great work. Thank you. John Mark says, Otis Sistrunk was in the car wash. Oh, by the way, I want to say to Donna's, Go Warriors, both who were on last night, and others who I'd like to have on, I think the one thing that I want to do is when you're on here, don't direct the questions so much at me, but read the stream to find out what people are asking. The reason is that I think I pretty much speak the truth. Tell me if I'm wrong. That people come here because they like to interact. They want me to read what they say. That's why I'm very careful not to read things that are appropriate. And that's why I have great moderators like yourself. But when you're on this camera side, read, and this is for you, Go Warrior, read what other people are asking. Read their statements. Am I right here? Am I right? Donna says, oops. There's no oops. Miguel says, Zinni, what is Raider from Michael from Halloween? And who is Chucky from Children? What Raider is Michael from Halloween? And who is Chucky from Children's Play? Chucky is John Gruden. That's easy. From Child's Play. Chucky is John Gruden. That's easy. He's still a Raider. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Michael from Halloween? Wow. Michael from Halloween. Hey, Ruben, how are you? Yeah, John Gruden is definitely Chucky. And Go Warriors said, you're right, cool. And Henry Flores says, Otis was cool. Henry Otis is a wonderful guy to this day. Really is. And so, wait a minute. Someone asked me, he says, you don't like Alien? Oh, excuse me, Donis, I love Alien. Not Alien Alien Covenant, I walked out on, though. The first Alien? Ding! Absolutely. Aliens? Ding! Yeah. Now, John Mark says, Howie Long is Michael Myers. Got it. Howie Long is Michael Myers. John Marks speaks for me. Great choice, John Marks. I like that. Kurt Foot says, yeah, laugh out loud, Gruden is Chucky. Even kind of sounds like him when he laughs and makes those faces, too. He does. I remember 2004 Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party in Houston. I have to tell a little black story here. Hold on a second. Hold that thought. Miguel Rose says, Zinni, what Raider is Pinhead from Hellraiser? Pinhead from Hellraiser? I consider him a Raider, so I'll say Dr. Death. Kurt Foot says, yeah, I know you said it doesn't count, but it counts to me. Go Warriors says, laugh out loud, Kurt. Donna says, I hate remakes. Rick Rice says, Tiger's always been addicted to Ambien. Here we go. I guess he wasn't drunk, but under the influence of Ambien. When you take too much Ambien, you turn into a zombie and have no control over yourself. Oh my God. What does Ambien do? What does that do? I don't know. Anthony Scott says, Michael from Halloween should be Kenny Stabler because he carved secondaries up. Oh, 831 Scott with the banger comment. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. John Mark says, my father thought Howie Long was Baby Huey from the Casper cartoon show. Barry Lee says, I have to ask you, do you like cream and milk in your coffee? I like mine straight with some sugar. 3 or 4 sugars and a little cream. Golden State Warriors says, he's reminding us he's a huge Cars fan. He's excited for Cars 3. He's really excited for Cars 3, folks. This is the 4th time he has mentioned it in 2 days. So 5th time. He's really excited for Cars 3. Oh, Ambien helps you sleep. But what's the side effect? Miguel Rose says, 831 Scott, I agree. Yeah, that Kenny Stabler comment, that was right on, man. I like that one. Now, John Marks. Yes. Talking about my video with respect to Mark Davis? Absolutely. That singular video that I released today lays the base case for any claim that the Raiders did not follow in good faith. It's all there. The evidence is all there. There's more, too. All right? Okay, John? All right. Steve Collins says, so is my grandson. Cars movie. Donna says, no Starbucks, any? I like Starbucks. 831 Scott says, he was one of my favorite Raiders ever, the Snake. I saw the Snake in action. Kurt Flair says, Ambien. Sedative, it can treat insomnia. Ooh. Common side effects of Ambien include dizziness. Other side effects include hallucination. Wow. Citron says, daytime drowsiness, dizziness, weakness, feeling drugged, or lightheaded. And that certainly sounds like something that Tiger Woods may have gone through, you know? So, and it's crazy stuff. Henry Flores says, Lester Hayes as Spawn. Oh, Steve Collins says, I met the Snake at Ricky's. Ooh, okay. Hey, I got a little programming note for you, those of you who might be thinking about it. There's a reason Ricky Bobby is not here. That's all I'll say. Now, okay? At least as Ricky Bobby. Now, Lester Hayes as Spawn. I like that. Lester Hayes as Spawn. Miguel Rose says, Zinni, what Raiders are Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk? Okay, working backward, the Incredible Hulk is, wow. The Incredible Hulk, Warren Sapp. The Incredible Hulk is Warren Sapp. Iron Man, wow. Jim Otto, it's easy. Superman, Superman would have to be Art Shell. Batman, Batman. When I think of Batman, I think of a linebacker. So Batman. You know what? Batman. I'll give Batman the Batman tag. Khalil Mack. Batman. Khalil Mack. Now Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spins a web any size. Catches passes just like flies. I'm going to give it to Amari Cooper. There you go. Now, Steve Kahn says Lalo Zedel the Hulk. You know what? I'll allow that. I like that. And I like Matuzak. I can't see Matuzak as the Hulk. Because he's tall, right? And he's like, well, yeah, it could fit. They could change. John Marks votes for Richard Gannon as Batman. Donna says, do you think the Raider fans have a case against Mark Davis? Yes, I do. 831, depending on how they approach it. 831 Scott. Jim Plunkett should be in the Hall of Fame. Yes. When is it going to happen? That's a great question. Donna says, John Marks, I agree. Go Warriors says, I'm a bandwagon fan for following Jack Del Rio from the Jaguars to the Broncos to the Raiders. Rick Rice says, Tiger was on Ambien when he hit the tree in front of his house. I remember that. While running away from his wife that chased him around with his own 5-iron. She must have been superhumanly mad, man. Every time, when I first heard that, I thought, boy, she must have really pissed him off. Because, think about it. He got into his Cadillac SUV to drive away from his wife. And she chased him on foot. That's some anger, man. Boy, oh boy. I'm telling you that, it must have been great when they were getting along. Whatever. But the whole point is, Kurt Ford says, Ken State was Captain America. John Marks says, Andre Rison is Spider-Man. Barry Lee says, Obama is Superman. Joseph Jones says, Tim Brown is Spider-Man. Barry Lee says, Trump is the Joker. Miguel Rose says, when is Tom Flores going to the Hall of Fame? Go Warriors says, my comment was a question. Can you repeat that, please? John Marks says, Andre Rison is Spider-Man. Rick Rice says, I wonder what her swing speed was, talking about Tiger Woods' wife, Elin Norderman. And Big April says, Bo Jackson as the Thing. High five on that one. Miguel Rose says, Barry Lee, then who is the Riddler? Who would the Riddler be? Phil Villapiano. No. Phil Villapiano would not be the Riddler. Phil Villapiano would be the Penguin. I've met Phil. I have an interview with Phil on Zenny 62. Hilarious guy. Anyway, now Donald Trump is the Joker. That's funny, says John Marks. I agree, Miguel Rose. Tom Flores should be in the Hall of Fame. Ditto. I completely agree. Ditto. Go Warrior says, I'm a bandwagon fan for following Jack Del Rio. Am I a bandwagon fan for following Jack Del Rio everywhere? Miguel Rose says, who is Catwoman? Wow. Catwoman would be... Catwoman would be... I'm trying to think of the head of the Raiderettes that I knew. When I was a Raiderette judge at one point, folks. Yep. From 1996 to 1998, I was a Raiderette judge. 97 to 98, I was a Raiderette judge. Yeah. God, what's Sherry's last name? She would be Catwoman. Yeah. I can't see Amy Trask as Catwoman. Because that's not Amy, okay? She's not like that. Amy is... Nah, I can't see Amy as Catwoman. I just can't see that. I can't go with you on that one. 831 Scott was finally happy when they put White Guy in the Hall of Fame. And Go Warrior says, that was a cool thing. Thanks. Donna says, today is JFK's 100th birthday, and a toast to JFK. Miguel says, Zenny, how about Amy Trasker as Poison Ivy? I can't see her as Poison Ivy either. No. I can see her... I'm trying to think of the woman in the Suicide Squad story that was played on film by Viola Davis. Whoever that is, that's Amy Trask. An executive, okay? An executive. Miguel Rose says, who is Mr. Freeze? Mr. Freeze? With the freeze gun, the freeze ray and everything? Mr. Freeze. John Madden. Sipman says Harley Quinn. Ah, that's a reach. Steve Collins says Batgirl. Batgirl would be the Raiderette that won the law case against the Raiders. Barry Lee says, I'm not going to touch that one, Barry. I'm not going to touch that one. Donna says, Al Davis? Al Davis. And here's why I say that, Donis, because Al Davis, I remember when NFL had these figurines that were out, and they made one of Al Davis. He was in he was a black suit, white shirt, tie, right? And he had this cane with like a diamond on. I thought, does he really have that? I mean, they made him look like a mobster guy. It was a character, right? I mean, it was insulting, but it was how they thought of Al Davis. So Al Davis is a character. He is a real person who is he's been caricatured so much that he's a character unto himself. So yeah. So Steve Costa is funny. Mr. Freeze, wow, I heard that in a minute. 007? Wow, who would be Doug for 007? Big April says Amy Trask is Jean Grey. That's respectful. I like that one. I like that one. Don says 007 is Al Davis. I like that one. Mr. Freeze is John Madden. John Madden is definitely Mr. Freeze. I can't see anybody else. John Mark says Al Davis is the Kingpin. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I like that. This is pretty cool. Henry Flores says, Jerry Jones said he was in favor of the Vegas deal only if someone else ran the team, someone with business sense. Well, yeah, but he said that a few years ago, okay? Last year, year before, right? And I'm wondering what his thoughts are now. I'm still of the view that this deal is not going to go through. I have a weird feeling about this. Or as Roy Schreider said in Jaws, I got a bad feeling about this. And we're going to need a bigger boat. So, yeah, I really believe that. Something's wrong. And I'm not saying that just to say it. I really believe something is wrong. Now, you better raise your... Julian Martin? You better what? Okay, Julian Martin is blocked. So, Julian, I don't care that you unsubscribe. You're gone. So, weird people like that are gone. Very easy to... Odd job. Wow. Okay, odd job would be... Oh! Sebastian Janikowski is odd job. Ding! There you go. There you go. Donna says Mark Davis is Kevin from Home Alone. Oh, gosh. Big April says John Gruden is Ghost Rider. Okay, so who would be... This is interesting. Who would be Aquaman? And who would be Wonder Woman? There you go, okay? Kurt Flair, why are they pushing this deal so badly to go to Vegas anyhow when no one seems to really want it? Kurt, that's the question of the year. And I haven't been able to get an answer from that. There's definitely something going on behind the scenes. And I think it has more to do with, I think it has to do with them giving Mark what he wants, even if it's at Oakland's expense. And I think Jerry Jones convincing Roger Goodell to go along with this. And I really believe it has something to do with that. And also I believe it has something to do with originally they thought that the gaming industry would fill in the local revenue hole that the Raiders have experienced in the Bay Area in Las Vegas. I really believe that's part of it. Now, because they're searching for new revenues, you have to remember new revenue streams. You have to remember something that slowly but surely, and I'm sure somebody at the NFL has modeled this out, and I think I'll do it myself. But they probably forecasted the long-term decline of subscriptions from cable, and that impacts what they get paid for television, and that can hurt. So I believe the NFL is, looking for its next seed corn. I really think that's what's going on. So, who is Dr. No? Cliff Branch is the Flash. Good call, Big April. And let's see here. I don't know who this guy is, so he is blocked. That's out. Okay. Now, let's see here. Redgrave, longtime Mater Red is Wonder Woman. Good call, John Marks. 831 Scott says, I hope you're right, Zinni. I really want the Raiders to stay in Oakland. I have a feeling Michelle Nadelson is going to come back into this deal. Yeah, something is wrong. Kurt Flair says, I see with the cable subscriptions that would make a bit of sense. Yeah. And Flores says, Howie as Aquaman. So, Ruben asks, who's Daredevil? Oh, Dave Casper. The man who went to Online Investments, Dave Casper. He is Daredevil. Yeah. And not for handling my investments either. I had to think about that one. I just blurted that out, you know. Howie Long is Aquaman. No, I can't see Howie Long as Aquaman. I'll tell you who Aquaman is. Okay? Aquaman is tip of my tongue. Offensive tackle. We took him in the first round from, I think it was Michigan State, Michigan. He drove up the beat up 67 car. I hung out with him at the 2007 Super Bowl. Great guy. I want to say, his name is off the tip of my tongue. He's in my doggone video. Oh, my memory. Come on. It's like, and we drafted him. Great guy. Great guy. We played left tackle. They moved him to guard. Who is that guy's name? And I want to say Richard, what's his name? Oh my gosh. John Mark says, great. Dave Casper's the ghost of the post. And we drafted him in 2006. So I got to look that up now because that's the guy. That's Aquaman. The guy that I'm thinking about is Aquaman. Hold on a second. Let me do a little work here. I'm really ashamed that Oakland Raiders. Let's see here. NFL draft. Let's see what comes out there. Do a search. Robert Gallery. That's him. Robert Gallery. Good guy. Robert Gallery is Aquaman. Long hair, tall, nice guy. I tell you apart though. All right, I got you. I haven't talked to Robert Gallery in a long time. Robert Gallery is a Mitch, great guy. I mean, we hit it off when we met like that. Okay, just great guy. I mean, he's just unassuming, smart dude. He's the kind of guy you want to sit down and he's like a gamer guy, right? That's Robert Gallery. Great guy. So, Go Warriors says, bye y'all, look me up on Skype, y'all on YouTube. And Go Warriors, I'll check your message. I apologize for not seeing it earlier, okay? And John Mark says, Bob Chandler as the Green Arrow. I like that. I'm going to stop at 1:30, folks, by the way. Who would be Casper the Friendly Ghost? Well, we can give Dave Casper that because they did call him that. Henry Flores says, Jared Calder. Who's Jared Calder? I'm lost there. Deadpool. Who would be Deadpool? Wow, okay, Deadpool. Bill Romanowski is Deadpool. Bill Romanowski is definitely Deadpool. Jared Valdir. Who is that, Henry? I am out to... Oh, who would be Wolverine? Freddie Blitnikoff is Wolverine, says 831 Scott. Interesting. Okay, who would be the... that's not quite. No. Who would be Cyborg? Who would be Cyborg? Now, there are a number of ways you can go with that. You could say Jim Otto is Cyborg because he's had so many metals put in his body. Okay? You can go with that one. Or you could go with Gene Upshaw. The late Gene Upshaw is Cyborg. Great man. Gene Upshaw. Yeah. Robert Gallery went to Iowa. That's right. Barry Lee says, who would be the Hulk? Barry, we said that it would either be John Matuzak or Lal Alzado. John Marks threw with Lal Alzado. Okay. Romo would be Wolverine. Yeah, Upshaw is Cyborg. This is great. Who is Goldfinger? Wow. Miguel Rose with a Goldfinger one. Who would be Goldfinger? To which James Bond says, do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Who would be Goldfinger? Goldfinger, alright, Goldfinger. Goldfinger would be played by Mark Badane. Mark Badane is Goldfinger. There we go. There you go. Alright, Goldfinger. Mark Badane. There we go. Superman? Ah, boy. Van McElroy. Would be who? Van McElroy. Henry, give the character first. Or are you saying Van McElroy is Superman? I'm confused. Miguel Rose, who is Octopussy? I thought Octopussy was a thing and not a person. But Steve Collins says, who would be Superman? We got that one. There are a number of answers for that one. But Superman, Donis, Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen would be... who would Bruce Allen be? Who would my friend be? Bruce Allen would be... Oh, wow. I have to give that one some thought. I don't know who Bruce Allen would be. I thought it was Jared Veter you're talking about. Oh, says Henry. Nope. Barry Lee says the NFL could use the Shield logo. True. In fact, I think the NFL should team with Marvel and have comic book themed, a season themed around a comic approach, you know? Kind of like, you know, the Dallas Cowboys as a superhero group taking on the Oakland Raiders as a superhero group, and then you have these stories about, you know, this player knew that player, and, you know, the battles won and lost on the field and that sort of thing. I think there's something there, you know, I really do. I think they ought to have Marvel create storylines and then put that in some sort of saleable package and use it to promote a season. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool idea. Yeah. Marcus Allen would be Superman, says, ooh, Big Eightful. Who would be Flash Gordon? I don't know. Joseph says, good night, Zinnians Interest. Good night, Joseph. Thank you. Thank you very much. John Mark says, Oakland Raiders can play Legion of Doom. I like it. This is fun. I like this. I like this one. I should put out a tweet that says hashtag superheroes. Oh, hashtag Marvel. Hashtag SDCC. No, yeah. Who is Raphael Drake from 007 Nightfire? Is that a game? I haven't seen that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, if we get a few more thumbs up, folks, that would be fantastic. But at any rate, Gumby. Gumby? Who would be Gumby? Randy Moss would be Gumby. There you go. Henry Flores, Van McElroy is Deadpool. Ding, got it. Kurt Flirt says, all right, good night, you guys. Time for work. Hey, good night. Good night. See you, Kurt. Thanks for participating. And Randy is Gumby. Yeah, Randy is Gumby. Randy is Gumby. Good night, Kurt. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Who is 006? There is no 006. I don't know. 006 doesn't know who 006 is. Hey, Steve Collins, do you know who 006 is? I don't. Who's 009? Or 008? Just asking. Or how about, in fact, all right. I think I asked this before, but I'll ask it again. No. Let me play through this, all right? Before I shift gears here. This is really good. All right, so who would be Howard the Duck? There's a mind bender for you. Who would be Howard the Duck? Just asking. Steve Collins says beats me. Oh no, what Barry? Oh God, I'm not even gonna say. Oh my gosh. Barry's calling the NFL commissioner Howard the Duck? No, really? No, come on. I can't do that to him. No. I would, if anything, Kingpin would be Roger Goodell. Okay, yeah. That definitely. Kingpin would be Roger Goodell. Who is Alec Trevakian, AAK 006? You tell me. And Henry Flores says Gummy Rat Guy. Who is, I don't know. Now, who would be, the Oakland Raiders Nation is the Justice League. I like that, says Big Eightful. Yes. Now, who would be? We didn't really ferret this out at all. I don't think we ferreted it out. Who would be Doc Ock from Marvel? Who would be Doc Ock? You have to pick a villain. Remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Raider. You have to pick a villain. Who would be Doc Ock? Mark Wilson is Howard the Duck, says 831 Scott. Hey, Barry, good night. Good night, Barry. Good night. Thanks for coming in. Steve Klein says Ricky Dudley. Ricky Dudley, that's a name I have not seen in a long time. Ricky Dudley. Wonder what happened to him. Night, Barry. Night. Night. And who is the Red Skull? Okay, the Red Skull. I would call the Red Skull until his retirement. That was, there's a number of people who could play the Red Skull. The Red Skull. Phil Rivers is the Red Skull. There you go. Phil Rivers is the Red Skull. There. No, Alec Casal, no. Hey, Henry, Alec Casal taught me all the NFL politics I know. I cannot say that about Alec Casal. Great man to me personally. Absolutely. We met once a month at Luigi's in Alameda on Park. Great place there to this day. Great linguiça. Visit for lunch or dinner. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. It's been there. It's an institution in Alameda, California. Go there. Because he approached me because he needed help reestablishing the 49er Raider preseason game. He told me all the stories about how the late Philadelphia Eagles owner Leonard Toews always had a special chair that he wanted at the NFL owners' meetings. He wasn't coming if that chair wasn't there, among other things. Okay, so let's see here. Miguel Rose says, "Who's Captain America?" I'll come back to that. Steve Collins says Dudley couldn't catch a cold. Ricky Dudley is Captain America. There we go. Rick Rice says Joe Flacco is Captain what? 831 Scott says Derek Carr is Captain America. Yes, Derek Carr is Captain America. All right. Lockdown. Derek Carr is Captain America. There you go. Lockdown. Derek Carr is Captain America. Big April says Pete Rozelle is Doctor. No, he's not. I don't see Pete Rozelle as Doctor Doom. Come on. Come on. No. Pete Rozelle to me is who would Pete Rozelle be? You have to remember, if it weren't for Pete Rozelle, the NFL would not be as we know it. Okay, so we have to give Pete Rozelle credit here. Sorry, I was getting a little thing. We have to give Pete Rozelle his due. So I don't want to cast him in a bad light personally. I mean, that's your opinion, of course. You're entitled to your opinion. But Pete Rozelle, I mean, for all practical purposes, I call Pete Rozelle the guardian angel. There we go. Yeah. Now, who is the Mad Hatter? The Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter would be Fred Swearingen. He was the official that missed the call in our game against the Broncos. He missed the fumble call that went against us. In the Broncos game, we played at Mile High Stadium for the AFC Championship game in 1978. Fred Swearingen. There you go. Now, Donna says how about DSC Comics teaming up? That could do it. ML Scott, you're just coming in. We're stopping at 1:30. Oh, man. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, man. Rick Rice says Jerry Jones is Magneto. Who's Professor X? If Jerry Jones is Magneto, then Professor X would have to be... Professor X would have to be, in this instance... Who would he be? Al Davis? Professor X would have to be Al Davis or Mark Davis. They just go together. So, Steve Collins says that was a horrible call. Yeah, what was a horrible call? Steve is old enough to remember. You know what I'm talking about. Mr. Davis will never stop talking about Fred Swearingen. Oh. And then there was that, who was the ref in the Immaculate Reception? Oh, God. Who played Zinnia 62 and Zinnia 62 the movie? I have no idea. Bill Walsh. What about him? 831 Scott says, Michael Crabtree is plastic, man. He stretches out for those receptions. I like that one. 831 Scott's got the wit tonight. I like that. Not that you don't have the wit other nights, but on this night you're particularly exceptional. I'm just pointing that out. John Mark says, doesn't mean the immaculate deception. I stand corrected. Thank you. I stand corrected. In fact, let me look that up real quick. Who was the, Rick Rice says that Samuel L. Jackson should play me. No, man, I that's a compliment, but nah, I can't see that. Thank you. I want to see that. Okay, the immaculate reception referee. Let's see what we get here. Immaculate reception referee. Fred Swearingen. Okay, that's where I heard the name Fred Swearingen then. But Fred Swearingen, I believe, holds a unique place in Raider history. Okay? Fred Swearingen says 40 years later, NFL official denies immaculate reception conspiracy. And all right, Raiders. Because I don't think that's the only game for which he played a controversial role. So, he was there, and let's see, when Zebras kicked the Raiders' ass. Yeah, so Swearingen was there, but I'm wondering, and I'll have to research that. Miracle Play Steve Steelers 13-7. Madden's done talking about the immaculate reception. Fred Swearingen passed away. Rest in peace. Now, who's Machete? Ooh. Wait, Coleman. Is it Coleman? Walt Coleman is... No, I'm not going to trash that. Who is George McFly? No. That would be Bruce Allen. George McFly would be Bruce Allen. There you go. Who would play Bill Walsh? Who played Bill Walsh? Or Bill Watch? Or do you mean which character? Wow. You mean which character? Which superhero would Bill Walsh be? Bill Walsh. There's only one. Bill Walsh has risen to character status in the minds of true football fans everywhere. There is no superhero that Bill Walsh is other than Bill Walsh. Period. That's it. Okay? That's how I think of Bill Walsh. There we go. So, 126. Gary Coleman as LeBron James. Okay, now I know it's time to say, hey, folks, it's 127. I'm going to start signing off. Good night, everybody. And where's Crawford to say you can bet your last money it's all going to be a stolen gas, honey. Oh, my God. Professor X as Bill Walsh. You know what? Donna's got that. Yeah, why not? Good night, John. You're right. I'll overruled by Donis I have been. Got it. Professor X. Big Eightful says Walt Coleman is the ref for the Tuck Rule game. The Cheat Bowl. Thank you. So who was the ref? I have to do research regarding the AFC Championship game. I thought it was Fredericton. Good night, everybody. This was a lot of fun. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. See you guys possibly tomorrow. If I don't come on tomorrow, I may be taking a trip. I'm not certain about that yet. But I will send out a tweet and a video tomorrow, okay? But I'll be starting about a little later, maybe about 9:15, okay? If I do, but you'll know. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Steve Collins. Thanks for coming in and being patient with my... Yeah, that was funny. It was very spontaneous. I like that. I wouldn't mind doing this on Sirius Radio or something. You can have a Sirius Radio live stream kind of combination, right? See you guys. Thank you, Rick Rice. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all, Zinsters. You guys are great. Awesome. Don't forget the thumbs up on the way out. There's 13 of you out, but 9 thumbs up. I'm thinking, what? Come on, everybody thumbs up. Come on. Help me out here. Help me. Free Tiger Woods. as Ricky Rice would say. All right, good night, everybody. Good night. Thank you all. Thanks. Thank you. 831 Scott, I hope you have food in your refrigerator in Oakland. I don't know why you'd ask that question, but thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. All right, see you guys later. See you. Take care. Okay, see you. Take care. Good night. Good night. All but one of you gave a thumbs up. I see you out there. I know who you are. Come on. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. All right, good night. Good night. 129, and I'm signing out. I'll see you all there. Thank you.